What is going on, guys and girls? My name is James and welcome back today to Roblox. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome back, welcome back. Today, once again, we are jumping into the Bee Swarm Simulator test realm to check out all of the new additions and changes that have happened over the past day or so. So there's a bunch of cool stuff in here. I've got loads of information, some new stuff as well, and also some potential information as to stuff we can expect in Beesmas Part 2. So I know it's a bit early for that. We've not even had Beesmas 1 just yet, but it is getting so close. It is currently the 21st of December, and Beesmas is only but a few days away. 3, 2, 1! Claim the test ROM hive. Yeah, hey dudes. So welcome back, one and all. How are we all doing today? Hopefully you guys and girls are doing awesome. I'd imagine everyone's now finished from school and work and stuff, maybe from for Christmas and that. So I hope you guys are having an awesome time and very excited. And yeah, there's so much stuff I need to talk about. There's some crazy stuff. There's some like mad mathematics. There's new items. There's new decals. It's gonna be a good time. Should we head over onto the mushroom of hype? Ooh, it's a pretty hype one. I mean, genuinely, like literally massive hype. I went and checked the likes from the previous episode, and oh my goodness, we are currently sitting on 6.4 thousand on that episode, which is just incredible. I think that might be like our highest one so far in like the Beesmas period, and that's insane. Thank you so much. That's absolutely mad. I think we already set like a 3,000 goal on that one, so thank you so much for being here and for once again, you know, coming and hanging out with me. It's always really nice. I don't really know what to set. Should we try and go for 3,500? Let's crank that one up a little bit. Let's crank that soldier boy. Let's crank that gummy soldier boy. Oh, that would be a good parody. Let's not make that. Anyway, gummy soldier boys aside. Yeah, so essentially, like, all of the things that we're going to take a look at today have been, like, added over the past day or two. I was kind of waiting for, like, something kind of extra to make a video, but I thought, you know what, there's already enough information here, lots of useful stuff, too, so let's make a video covering it. And yeah, essentially, one of the things we're going to talk about here today are the waxes and the turpentine. So we have, like, a little box thing here. Boom. Woo! It's given us 2,000 soft waxes, 1,000 of the other waxes, and 1,000 turpentines, and it's given us like one of every bee quip. So of course, this new wax system and the turpentines are all based around the bee quips, and it's actually like a really in-depth thing that Onett has been doing. So we're going to talk about some other stuff as well, but what should we begin with? Oh, actually, yeah, before we get into this, because I do have, like, one of those classic Onett messages with just, like, all the information about this, and it's actually really cool how they work. But just another random thing that kind of just happened. If we now go and head over to the Blender, and we go to like the final few pages, you'll be able to see that in here are some of the crafting recipes for some of the new items. So I've got a bit of information about this. Currently, we have the loaded dice, we have the smooth dice, and we have the field dice. You can craft field dice? That's like the best news ever. So this is using some of the new wax, a whirligig, believe it or not, and then 2 of these extracts. So the whirligigs are actually a craftable item. You can use these to craft as well, which I thought was kind of cool. Smooth dice, basically a better version of that previous recipe, and then the best one, which is the loaded dice, where you need the smooth dice, you need different wax, and you need the oil and the glue. So in terms of like why these are in the blender, on it says here, they'll most likely get moved to a different crafting method later, because I never wanted to have dice in a blender, because it makes no sense. So I think this is probably like a temporary thing, but the good news is, as well as like finding these in the map, I'd imagine in the planters, maybe rare from boss drops, you can also craft them in your blender. We also have all of the new waxes, which are also available here in the blender to make. So we had a little look at these in the previous episode. This is one of the new crafting items. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, what's it called? It's a hang on, bear with lads, bear with. It's a honeysuckle. It's a honeysuckle. So yeah, 5 honeysuckles, oil, enzymes, and 10 royal jellies to make a soft wax. We roll through here to the second one, which is the hard wax, which is just, you know, a slightly harder version. We've got bitter berries in there as well. And then the swirled wax, purple potions and a lot of royal jellies, and the caustic wax, which is the big boy, very expensive. Neon berries, would you believe, which is kind of insane. Now, you might be looking at this and thinking, hey, this is kind of expensive, right? Well, on it here says that the prices in the blenders might change, but the reason they are so high is because the main game is the main way to get waxes is supposed to be directly through the planters and not really through crafting. It's a similar case to stuff like the Stinger Shop. It's there as an option, but a very inefficient way compared to the intended way to get the stuff. So basically, like, it's there as like last resort. If you really want or need some of those waxes, you can put them in the blender and you can make them, but you do pay like a premium price as opposed to using the planters to farm them the way that they're supposed to be done. But yeah, that's kind of like the situation. The prices may change a little bit, but with all the information I have for you guys about these waxes, it seems like a very in-depth thing. So you're probably going to want as many waxes as possible. Now, I'm actually going to talk about the waxes like in a bit more detail in just a second. I've got like lots of information. So once again, this is one of these things a little bit like the planters, whereby when you first look at it, you think, oh geez, that's kind of overwhelming, because there's just like this huge amount of information with just all the percentages and how they work and stuff. But it's actually a really, really cool system. But just very quickly before we do that, obviously the new stuff is in for the Beesmas update part 1. By the way, in case you guys are wondering when Beesmas is coming out, I do believe it's Christmas Day. So as I kind of mentioned previously, like, I personally really like to have it like a couple days before, but from what it seems like and through the development and through the things that Onett has mentioned, it will be a Christmas Day update. So that's not the worst thing in the world. When you finish your food with your family and stuff and you just want to kind of relax for a bit, you fire up your computer or your iPad or whatever and play some sweet, sweet Beesmas. But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be Christmas Day. Anyway, so you can actually also get the waxes from the Red Bee candles. It says here, the candles will now give a random wax, which is usually soft. Swirled wax in the new system is much rarer and an expensive crafting ingredient. So you will get random waxes from the red candles, but likely is going to be the lowest form, which is the soft. Ooh, I could tell you what we could talk about. So, yeah, previous episode was also a really, really good one because we got to see Dapper Bear for the very first time. So just like a bit of a continuation on that, of course. This is the new Dapper Bear shop. We talked about him in the previous episode. He now has his nectar symbols just like over his head. Looks really cool. So yeah, the shop, I would imagine, would change and sort of look a bit fancier by the time Beesmas comes around. But just kind of some more information about this. I thought this might be interesting. So, level requirements. How do you actually get into his shop? On it says here, because like the steps are quite steep, you know? Some people might not have like this jump boost to get up. So it says here that I'll adjust it to make it easier. To enter Dapper's shop, you will need to be wearing nice boots and a nice hat, which it will tell you on the door. The nice boots and hat should give you the jump power to access it, the propeller hat and the hiking boots. But don't worry, like if you're like a higher level and you don't have to put those items on every time, it says here, and you can also get in with the gummy boots and the higher mask. So essentially what this is saying is that there is a minimum requirement for entering Dapper's shop, and that will be you will have to wear the propeller hat and the hiking boots. I think they're these ones. So it's relatively early game. It's what is 10B zone kind of stuff. So as soon as you get to this area basically and you have those two items minimum, you'll be able to go and talk to Dapper Bear. Just to kind of recap what Dapper Bear does, because I think he's one of the cooler bears actually with all the things that he can do and talk about. But on it says here that we will try to explain most of it through Dapper. Many bee quips were planned to be hidden prizes only found through planters. Like through the field changing method I described. So yeah, if you guys remember that, I don't know if you saw the video, putting planters in certain fields sequentially will unlock special rewards, which is insane. The planters and bee quips are supposed to be oh, my alarm is going off. Hello, sausage. Apologies. The planters and bee quips are supposed to be an interrelated system. So it makes sense for Dapper to teach about both. So yeah, basically that message essentially means that Dapper Bear is going to be the NPC which is talking about the bee quips, the brand new bee quips. I'd imagine he'd probably talk about waxes as well, and of course the planters. So you can think about Beesmas as essentially you're going to have all of the Beesmas stuff going on, but at the same time you're going to be focusing on the planters, the Dapper Bear quest, unlocking the new planters, farming those new planters for all these new crafting recipes to make the waxes, to actually upgrade your bee quips. So it's so cool, man. There's so much to do. It's amazing. And I think this once again just sort of echoes what I said in the previous one, which is like Onett just, instead of giving us like the same Beesmas stuff again, just whacking a couple new bees in, or maybe an event bee and being like, hey, there you go, it's Beesmas. He's moving mad on the development. Like, this is crazy. So you've got like all of these systems which are like really, really, I guess, technical for the game, but he's introducing not just, you know, rinse and repeat stuff. He's actually changing the fundamentals of the game by adding in all of this new stuff to keep it new and fresh and interesting. And I'm sure it's a very stressful time for him right now. Very close to Beesmas, but you've got to appreciate the effort that he's going in to not only give us the usual Beesmas stuff, to actually add brand new content, and not just copy-paste content, but brand new content into the game. And I think that's amazing. So I'm excited to play around with this, especially the planters. I've still got just some random ones slowly growing in the fields. But yeah, waxes, man. Oh no, hang on. I thought this was interesting, and this is just the final bit for Dapper Bear. But there was also other things planned that will probably come, but not by Christmas. So likelihood is this might be one of the updates that we can see a little bit early for Beesmas Part 2. It says, donating bee quips to Dapper to create a collection that gives certain bonuses and certain types of bee quips donated. Essentially a reason to discover one of every bee quip. So Dapper Bear is also going to have, potentially anyway, another system whereby you can actually donate bee quips that you find, one of each one in the game, and then you'll be able to unlock special stuff for doing like a collection system, which I think sounds really cool, actually. Oh, actually, and the planters. I forgot about the planters. Let's talk about the planters after that. But yeah, so we have these new waxes here. We've got the soft wax, hard wax, caustic wax, the swirled wax. I think I've still got some swirled wax from like the previous Beesmas in my inventory. I'm not 100% sure. But this year, it really is like a lot more developed than previous. And you can see here that we've just got a bunch of them, and of course we have our turpentine. So it seems like turpentine you can actually stack up to 25, but right now the little decal for the item is not available. And what do we say about this? Well, prepare for a lovely wall of Onett text. Please test the soft wax, hard wax, caustic wax, and turpentine if you can. How it works is each bee quip has 5 slots to be used for waxes, and each wax grants upgrades for a random pool that varies between different bee quips, with some stats being rarer to upgrade than others. Soft wax are guaranteed to give 1 smaller upgrade, hard wax has a 60% chance to give 2 upgrades, twice as much stats as a soft wax, but 40% chance to do nothing. Caustic wax has a 25% chance to give it 4 upgrades, but a 75% chance to destroy it. Using turpentine will remove all waxes from bee quip, including the stats from the waxes, essentially resetting the bee quip. The higher the potential of the bee quip, the better the upgrades will tend to be. You can see the waxes used and the stats they grant by looking at the bee quip in the menu. Okay, mad. So yeah, if we go and rock on over to the bee quips, I guess we can just use this one for now. If we just click on any of them, you see that this is a brand new system where we now have 5 slots for the bee quip. Now, not only that, but there is now like even more value to finding the high potential bee quips. So you can see here, for example, with this poinsettia, if we have like this one, it's 3 out of 5. But if we find this one instead, it's 5 out of 5, and that's going to give us better risk-reward results using wax on this bad boy. Whew. So I really think, like, this may seem kind of daunting, to be honest with you. Like, this is the one thing that in the next update, I kind of want to learn a lot more of before I start, like, giving any advice. Because as of right this moment, I haven't played around with it enough, and I think this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve just to kind of get the most benefit out of the system. But I guess let's give it a go. Let's just try it and see what happens. So let's just take this Beesmas hat. Yeah, and let's put it on. Have I got any bees that like the Beesmas hat? No. Great start. Okay, let's go with this 3-star potential tiara. So this is how it works. Essentially, you use your hive to actually do this. You can see here that we've got the bee quip. And if you click the bee quip, it opens up the menu. And we have our 5 wax slots available because we haven't used any waxes yet. So let's just start off super low. Let's just try one of the random sort of cheaper ones. Let's just try a soft wax. So we literally just drag it into the slot. We use the soft wax on stubborn bee. Boom. The wax has improved the bee quip. And you can see here that we actually have a tick next to the wax which has succeeded. So we can still use 4 more waxes, but it seems like using this 1 wax on this bee quip has essentially added a little bit more convert rate to the bee quip. So it was originally a default of 15, and because we used the 1 soft wax, it's now added a 2 more percentage to bring that 15 up to 17. So that's just an example of one very basic, very easy wax upgrade. Cool. So that's always going to be a guaranteed one, it seems, for the actual soft wax. Now, what if we use like a hard wax? What would happen? Boom. The wax didn't seem to help. So that's behind me, by the way. There's a little pop-up that pops up. It says the wax didn't seem to help. But you can see here that we've used a hard wax and the wax has failed. So there's a big X next to it, essentially, and there is nothing new on our stat menu. But we can try again if we want to. Let's go and maybe try like another hard wax. Let's see what happens. Didn't seem to help again. Oh no, let's try a third one. Didn't seem to help again. No! Didn't seem to help again. 4 X's? Wait, did I do something wrong? I already think this is going to be a source of excellent trolling by Onett. I can see the memes already. So yeah, we took 4 big fat L's there. No way, are you kidding? Right, so what happens, right? So let's just say we get 4 X's, everything fails. We use our turpentine on our bee quip, and then boom, all 5 of the waxes that we previously used are now wiped, and now you can reuse wax on this stubborn bee. He is a very stubborn bee. I wonder if that's why. Have I trolled myself? First one worked. Unbelievable. Right, now it gets even cooler. Okay, so basically we have the swirled wax. So the swirled wax, which is the bottom one here, acts a little bit differently to what you would expect from the other ones. So essentially, this is a stat re-roller item. So on it here says that the swirled wax changes the seed of the bee quip. If you're familiar with how seeds work in stuff like Minecraft, it's what determines how things generate. So say you had a bunch of hard wax work, but it didn't like the stats, you didn't like the stats that the hard wax gave. Using a swirled wax will change the seed and thus the stats, but keep the successful hard waxes. Oh, it works even more differently than I was expecting. Say we have here our snow tiara, which we've added our wax on, and it's giving us the converter hive boost. What then happens if we use a swirled wax on it? Boom. Oh, okay, so it keeps the actual wax on the one that's already improved it, but it then still re-rolls it. Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? This is something that I kind of want to fiddle around with a little bit, but essentially it seems like a really, really cool system. So you have the waxes, the soft wax, the hard wax, and the caustic wax, which is used to essentially upgrade the stats on the bee quip, and then you have the swirled wax, which is used to re-roll them. But if you have a wax on there already, it will keep the one that currently has the wax on, but it will still improve it? Huh. Let me try this one more time. Okay, so now I used a swirled wax, and it changed my converter hive boost, and it gave me a double of blue gather amount and white gather amount. So it boosted those 2 up. So that would mean that it's changed the seed. So it's swapped the converter hive boost, and instead it's actually given me 2. So it's given me blue gather and white gather instead. So if I use another swirled wax on it just for fun, boom, it's still giving me blue and white. Let me try one more. Wait. There we go. Now it's changed it from white, and it's given me convert amount. So yeah, you can actually then change which stats actually get that boost. So I would imagine that unless you use the swirled wax, every time you use a wax on one of your bee quips, it's always going to give you a boost for a certain stat, unless you choose to re-roll it. So if the stat that you're getting a boost from is not the one that you want, let's just say for this one, for example, I really, really want critical chance boost, and it's just not giving me that. I can use my swirled wax to re-roll the stats, and then use wax until I get critical chance. I think that's how it works. Bear with me, because I'll try and confirm that for next episode. This is very new to me right now. I'm trying to learn it sort of as I go along. But that seems like a really mad system. I like it. I'm going to be trolled a lot by it. I think a lot of people are. It's cool though, man. It's cool. So let's actually just try here very quickly. I want to talk about the planters in a second, but I want to try a a level 5 bee quip. So on it here says that some of the upgrades are much rarer than others, and the odds of getting them increases with potential. For example, a bee quip could have an upgrade chance of a 1% hive bonus crit chance, but there's only 1% likely to give it at 0 stars, but is 10% likely at 5 stars. So yeah, if you have a 0-star bee quip and you try and get that percentage boost, it's probably not going to happen. If you have a 5-star bee quip, then you have a 10% chance to get that rare stat boost. So obviously there's going to be stats and boosters in here that are going to be better than the other ones. It's a case of locating those and then trying to work out which ones you want. Do we have any 5 stars here? This pine cone, do we have anything a little bit more fancy? What about electric candle maybe? No, that's a 0 potential. Ah, here we go. This paper angel. That should be a really, really good example. So this is a pretty good bee quip. Really good for white bees, ability pollen, token link, whatever. What I want to try, though, is I want to try a big boy caustic wax. 25% chance to succeed, 75% chance to fail, which should be interesting. Let's give this a go. Caustic wax. Boom. Failed. So, my 5-star paper angel is now destroyed. And I need to go and find another one. Ooh, that's brutal. That is... Ooh. Okay, yeah, look, it's gone. So caustic wax is the big gamble. And with a 25% chance, technically you're going to need minimum 4 of those to actually maybe upgrade the stats once using them. And maybe even 4 might not work. Because sometimes percentages don't work quite the way that you think. Wow. All right. Okay. So yeah, I can already see like episodes in the future on this channel getting absolutely wrecked by wax. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. It's gonna happen. But we'll see when the time comes. Oh geez. All right, so just finishing off here, one more little thing. We have already looked at the planters, but if you look at the menu now, you'll see that they all have their brand new decals, which have been uploaded. So some of these look really, really nice, especially I think my favorite is the pesticide planter. It's got like toxic symbols on, but a bit of information about this, essentially reading through the Bee Swarm Sim like Discord and stuff, Onett has actually hired someone to make the planters, which I think is really cool. So these planters that we see here, just the generic sort of pot shape, then they just have different colors. The Experiences developer has temporarily shut down the Experience server. Onett! Yeah, he always times it well, doesn't he, our Onett? You cheeky sausage, kicking us out. See, let me try this one again. We have the planters with these bases, so this is not what the planters are going to look like. So he's actually hired someone to essentially make all of the mesh models for these brand new planters. So they are currently not in the game. Wouldn't it have been funny if like that kick was to update it? That would have been fun. But yeah, every single planter is actually going to have its unique shape, and they're all going to look different. So as and when those come into the game, I will let you guys know. But yeah, this guy is working on them right now, and I think they're going to look really cool. So as you can see, like a lot of technical stuff going into the game. And the waxes, like, I think once people have the chance to play around with them properly, as you can see, I've not really played around with them too much, but I think they're going to really help. I think it's a case of you don't necessarily need these waxes, and you don't need to refine your bee quips, but at a higher level, it does get really useful, especially like how much you want to make honey and stuff. Like having those extra bonuses are really good. So yeah, we will see how it goes. But until next time, thanks, and see ya.